Okay.
Okay.
We are live.
Yep. There's no mic.
Hello? Oh, Diane.
Did I miss the whole thing?
This talk is now retitled Empowerment in the Face of Crap Electronics. How's that? Oh, Lordy. Well, in this age of technology, you have to be able to deal powerfully with breakdowns, don't you, Diane?
Yeah.
That's right. Big part of empowerment is just dealing with what's so, not all the significance that gets dragged along with it, all right? Now, Jeremy, are we live streaming now?
Yes, we are.
Oh, very nice.
No thanks to me.
I love Jeremy with that kind of like Barnabas Collins kind of look happening there, like so we're up and running now?
We're up and running.
Okay.
I had to switch to my phone for some reason.
We're getting some hellos and a hallelujah.
Oh, there we go. Well, the diehards stick with us. This is when you know your real friends are out there. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, first of all, apologies to everyone out there. This was to start at 10 o'clock. Were we ever live at 10 o'clock and then we went off, or we were never live?
It went for a period, and it seemed to be as soon as the sort of the inquiry started,
I see.
It stalled out, and
got too deep. It got too deep, even for the electronics, even for the technical. Yeah. Okay. All right.
And we've got just in the offing we have Andrew if we need a bouncer or anything. He's here. His video's off. Okay. All right. We'll keep it simple.
Thanks.
And I'll
Please.
step away.
Yes. Because obviously, even this is too complicated for what we're out to do. So let's leave it as simple as possible. Okay. So apologies to everyone out there. This was to start.
And that's our hero, Adam. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Adam, for getting this, getting us back on track. So, but again, this was to start about 30 minutes ago, and here we are. So this will be a jam-packed 30 minutes here for everybody. All right. So the conversation is a conversation for empowerment, and we're using an example. So kind of dealing with power. The way it normally lives for people, like who's got the power and who doesn't. And there's one kind of power, which is the kind of power like force, largesse, domination, like he or she who's got the most money's got the most power, or who's got the most kind of political clout has the most power, or who has the most Instagram followers has the most kind of that power. But it seems to be kind of this who has the most of something versus who doesn't have the most of something, and who has the most of it has the power over the other. And that's one version of power. And, you know, 2020 or Bust. I'm the executive director of 2020 or Bust, and my name's Lachlan Arts, and I hope you got the beautiful introduction that we did for you, Diane. Diane, move your face up. We're going to see half your face. No, the other way.
I was trying to get the fire in.
Well, we'd rather see you than the fire, but I appreciate that.
okay.
Okay, we can see the hue of the fire behind you, which is plenty. Okay.
All right.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. If you weren't attractive, I wouldn't care. And how's that for a? Hopefully that doesn't. You can still tell. Hopefully you can still tell a beautiful woman that she's beautiful. Okay. I hope we haven't taken that away from you know what we can do, right? So, you know, but one of the deals that we have in 2020 or Bust is our mission is to empower humanity to end the climate crisis. So it's really specific that our mission is not to end the climate crisis, and we intend to end the climate crisis, but the mission is to empower humanity to end the climate crisis. So the critical word in our mission is empowerment, and not that it's better or worse, but it is what distinguishes 2020 or Bust amongst all of the other wonderful, wonderful things out there that are working on the climate change. So one of our premises is that human beings live in a reality that is, for the most part, constructed in language. So, you know, kind of whatever you're doing in your day, as you go through your day, and whatever it is that you're dealing with and how you deal with what you're dealing with is largely a function of language. Except we don't see that it's largely a function of language. To us, it just looks like life. So, and if you can get at that whole kind of construct of language, then it gives you a different kind of power than the power that we have. That's the power that we have as a construct of the language as it currently is. So how's that? So one of our, and again, I don't know when the juice went out on this or when the broadcast or anything like that, but one of our, you know, kind of foundational quotes that we have by Richard Rorty, who is an amazing philosopher, is that a talent for speaking differently rather than arguing well is the chief instrument of cultural change. And that gets at the kind of power that we're talking about when we talk about empowering humanity to end the climate crisis. So anything about that, Diane? I don't want to just talk people to death. I mean, you're the one that got me into this deal, you know. So you said let's have a conversation on empowerment, right? Because I can't kind of look, right? I look for myself, you know. It's like I watch the news. I mean, my God, you know, which politician has the most power, right? Like the president's got all this kind of power, and he gets to be on TV 2 hours a day, and you know, and this is not about politics or, you know, Republicans or Democrats, but for the most part, it'd be really easy to say, well, that guy's got all the power.
Yes.
You know, and who's, you know, Macron, he's running France, he's got that kind of power. And who are the people that are really running this whole show? And they're the people that seem to be running the whole thing that have all the power. And then there's the rest of us that, you know, are just trying to kind of do our best to, you know, maybe get some of that emergency loan money or whatever that they're passing out in this deal, right? So anything about that, Diane?
I don't know what to say. I didn't quite follow something you said.
Yeah, good. What was that?
A little bit ago is like that we have this construct that we see the world from.
Yeah.
And once we know that, we can shift it. But there we are with that new construct is what I heard.
Yeah. So see power, you can't see power.
Yes.
You can't see empowerment. You know, if you look around your room, or if you anywhere you'd ever be kind of in your day, if you looked around, what you'd see is things happening. You'd see people doing things. You'd see somebody saying this, somebody was saying this, somebody else was listening to them saying that, somebody was driving a car. There would be all the kind of stuff that's happening. But you wouldn't actually see this phenomenon called power or empowerment.
Right.
You wouldn't see it because it isn't that kind of a thing. It's not like you can see it like you can see this cup.
Right.
So empowerment and power is something just to consider for this conversation, is that it doesn't live the way, you know, the coffee cup lives. It doesn't exist the way the coffee cup exists. It doesn't exist the way, you know, my shirt exists, or the way those candles, beautiful candles behind you exist, right?
Right.
So it's something that got made up.
Mm-hmm.
And we live in kind of the reality that came along with how it got made up. So one of the things that we invite people to consider is that much of the current reality as far as power is concerned, it's power like force, power like domination, power like this has power over this. Somebody has power over somebody else, okay?
Okay.
Right? So for example, I'm gay, okay? Surprise, all right? So I got raised in a whole kind of cultural conversation about what that meant about me and the power I had in the world.
Yes.
But somebody made all that up, you see.
Yes.
And then life kind of goes the way that got made up, and then it looks like that's just the way it is.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So once you can kind of start to see that the power that we live in, or that what it means to have power and what it means to not have power that we live in, really is something that lives in a construct of language.
Yes.
See, this country, for example, right? It got invented in language. All that's really here is a bunch of land. And I'm talking about the United States. Right? There's just a bunch of land.
Yeah.
And then some, you know, men and women came over, and then they made this thing called the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, which is language. It's a document. It's words on a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody in this country kind of lives inside what got said on that piece of paper. And there's a lot of, like, is it constitutional? Is it not constitutional? Does it honor the Constitution? Does it? You know what I mean? It's like a big deal, that piece of paper, right?
Right.
And if you look, and the example, if I want to use this, if you look at that, how it was laid out, it's laid out that who's got the power?
Yes.
This is a question I'm asking you. Who's got the power?
Well,
The government or the people?
the government.
No!
Yes.
In the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, how it's laid out is that the people have the power.
Then how did the electoral college?
No, I got that. But if you look, it's that the people have the power, and that the government is set up in service of the people.
Yes. That was the intent.
That was the intent, and that's how it got designed. Now, if you kind of track history over the time between when that actually document got written and now, is that there's been kind of a shift where government is no longer so much exactly by the people, for the people. There's Jeremy. Thank you for that, right? By the people and for the people. that government now, see, at the beginning, people didn't even want to, George Washington did not want to be president. People didn't want to go into, it was like, politics wasn't about power. It wasn't about winning.
Yes.
It wasn't about getting the power and keeping the power, which is much of what it is now.
Mhm.
So it shifted from being in service of to who's got the power.
Yes.
And who shifted that was us. People did that. That piece of paper stayed the same. The Constitution didn't change. The Declaration of Independence didn't change, you see? So there's that one kind of power, which is kind of the domination power, force power. Who's got the biggest tanks? Who's got the, who's got the biggest Instagram followers? Who, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, right.
And that's the kind of, and so then we kind of live in a world where how do we get the people that don't have the power to get more of the power that the people that do have the power, so that they have less of the power? Whether that's military power, financial power, popularity power, media power, whatever that is. But it's the kind of thing that exists in who's got the most of it wins, and who has less of it loses. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So we just want to offer up that that's one model of power, but not the only model of power.
Yes.
So when we talk about empowerment, it's not how do we get people to be more in control? How do we get people to amass more money? How do we get people to be more dominating? How do we get people to be more assertive? That kind of power, the force kind of power, the this against that kind of power, the I'm going to win and somebody else is going to lose kind of power. You see?
Mhm.
And we're suggesting that that's the current model of power that is predominant in the world. So if you watch the news, if you watch human behavior, that's what you'll see at play.
Yes.
Okay? Yeah. So the kind of power that we're talking about isn't that power. And we have great regard for that power. Okay? And one of the things that you kind of look at in just kind of in your own life is that it seems like, and people will tell you this, with people that have a hell of a lot more power, that kind of power than I do, right? Is that no matter how much power you get and how much more powerful you get and how much more you win and all of that, there's something about that that's still deeply dissatisfying.
Right.
It's like you can't get enough. What,
Right.
Diane?
We need more.
Yeah, we need more and more and more. Absolutely, more and more and more. And if you look at capitalism, again, this isn't about, any kind of political or economic, right, wrong, or anything like that. But the whole kind of game is, get more, bigger, bigger market share, bigger profit margin, bigger blah, 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 like that, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so what if there was a whole different kind of power, not better or worse than that kind of power, but a different kind of power? And the kind of power we're talking about, and when we say the word empowerment, is that it's the kind of power that is the power to create and realize something that you have as possible.
Mm-hmm.
See, if you stop anybody on the street, I'm gonna suggest, wherever you are in the world, and say, what would you really want? If you could have anything you wanted, even like right now, it's the perfect time right now in terms of the coronavirus thing, right? I heard Cuomo on, right? And again, it's not about do you like Cuomo, do you not like Cuomo? And you know, Cuomo happens to be the governor of New York, so he has, you know, briefings on every day. And sometimes I see the briefing, and I saw today or yesterday, I forget. He said we want to reimagine New York. We don't want to go back to the New York that it was before the virus. We want to reimagine New York.
Mm-hmm.
And if you stop somebody on the street and you know, anywhere in the world and say, look, what do you really want? You know, don't you think people are going to fundamentally tell you the same thing? We want peace. We want peace in the world, right?
Yeah.
We want people to be taken care of. We want, you know, people to be treated as equals. We want, let me see. Might not be the videographer guy. Hold on, Lynn. Oh, no. Well, whatever. I've got some notes here. So, Jeremy, whatever you tell, we're finished. You know, it on a scheduled time or not. You just let me know, okay? Yeah. So if you stop people on the street and you say, "What do you want?" Okay, then everybody pretty much wants the same thing, I think. Except it doesn't ever seem to happen.
Right. Things we really never seem to happen, right?
You know, it just doesn't ever seem to happen. We just seem to go from one war to the next war, and then to the next crisis, and then to the next thing, and it's just kind of, we're in this kind of cycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you get down to it, and we found this to be really the case, and I know you found this to be the case, you know, Diane, with 2020 or bust, is that much of how people explain the mess that we're in. What is that noise? Is that me or somebody? Can you fix that, Jeremy? That
Yeah, that's I think with Diane's headphones and the feedback there. Diane, if you can plug something in, and that might correct for it, because it's you know, and I can try muting you in the meantime, and we'll see how it works. But I hope you enjoy my Barnabas Collins.
You're great, and you got to show me that Captain America one though sometime, okay?
Oh, okay.
All right. So, oh, Diane, now we can't see anything. What? Oh my gosh! All right, so thank you. All right. Yeah. So listen, you stop people on the street and say, "What do you want?" You know, it's kind of, people really do want the same thing when you kind of get down to it, except we just can't kind of seem to get at it. And so one of the things that people talk about is, well, it's just human nature. You know, human beings are greedy. You know, human beings, you know, there's always going to be, you know, somebody that's going to want more than somebody else. It's just kind of, that's just the way that it is. So when the way that we work about empowerment is that it's a different kind of power than what's currently available in what people call human nature. And that right now we've got the kind of power that's completely consistent with how human beings tend to live. You know, I tend to live that I'm separate from you, don't I? And I tend to live that since I'm a man, that means blah, 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 blah. And since you're a woman, that means blah, 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 blah. And since I'm gay, that means blah, 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 blah. And since I'm an American, that means blah, 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 blah. And since you're white, that means blah, 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 blah. And all of that kind of fixed reality that we live in. Except if you really, no, go ahead, Diane. Can you unmute or oh no, you don't want to unmute? Jeremy, can you, there we go.
Okay. It's just, I don't even know what I wanted to say at this point. Just carry on.
But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we relate to all of that as really the way that it is.
Yeah.
And it plays out in a very larger scale, you know, kind of globally. You know, that if you're Israeli, then it's X, Y, and Z, and this is what it means about you. And if you're Palestinian, then boom, 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 this is what it means about you. And when you're working in that kind of fixed reality, it will offer you a what we say is a very limited power. See, if I'm inherently separate from you, the best we can do is try to get along. Right? So if I can start to engage in the kind of conversations that I live in, that I've related to as just the way that it is, when in fact they're simply kind of conversations that I live in, it frees me up to have a different kind of relationship with myself, other people, and the world. You all right, Diane?
Yeah. It just, I keep getting, there's just a technical glitch. I keep getting muted.
Oh, no, well, don't mute her anymore, Jeremy.
Okay, I will.
I don't think he's not doing it on purpose.
No, I'm Diane, there is a sort of background garble, and it goes away when I mute you.
Okay.
Got it.
All right. So
if
I'm looking.
All right, Jeremy, just leave it unmuted, okay? Boy, we're just having a whole muting thing, aren't we? Every time I come on, there's some issue with the muting. All right. So, you're all right, Diane. You're not muted anymore. You can stop.
Okay. I'm going to try the headphones that Jeremy told me. Maybe that'll help.
I can't see you.
Okay. Here I am.
Okay, great.
Me?
All right, great. Okay, good. So what's kind of a fact that you live in, Diane, as far as since you're a woman, that means this in the world? As far as the power that you have and the power you don't have.
Yeah. I can be treated like my opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to listen to you.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So like, it's just a simple example, all right? And everybody has, whatever they've got, right? But
yeah.
Everybody's got whatever their version is.
Yes.
And if you can start to really examine it, like, is that actually the case? Even though you've got plenty of evidence for it, maybe the evidence came from that you've been living in that story for that long.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody around you is kind of living in it, and you were really raised in it. We were raised in different stories, okay?
Yep.
And the story does change over time, but it's still a story. Mm-hmm. And what limits someone's power isn't what's actually happening in the world. And this is kind of the breakthrough that we're out for with 2020 or bust. What limits people's power is not the climate crisis itself. What limits people's power is not the circumstance. It's not the rising of the sea level. It's not the emitting of the carbon. It's not the rising of the temperature. What limits people's power is their relationship to what's happening, and their relationship to what's happening is a function of the stories that they live in.
Yes.
So that's what we're after. That's the nut that we're after to crack in 2020 or bust, where everybody else is dealing with the climate and the science and all of that, which you absolutely should. Like, no kidding. We'd be stupid to say, oh, don't worry about the actual happening, all right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you ask most people about what can you do to end the climate crisis, it's mostly a resounding nothing.
Yes.
as if that's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
And much of the propaganda out there, including what's being offered by the quote unquote climate movement, fuels that propaganda.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
we-
lots of people say it's greenwashing to say that the individual has any power.
Absolutely. So one of the myths that we've been out to bust for the last 5 years since 2020 or bust started is the fundamental myth is that individual action has no significant impact on ending the climate crisis. It's too
Yes.
big, it's too complex. It's up to the government, it's up to the UN, it's up to industry, it's up to science, it's up to people much bigger with much more power. That's where the power lies.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the upsides of the coronavirus is that what has happened is that individuals have taken actions that are far more carbon neutral. Now,
Yes.
they got forced to, but we've stopped driving, we stopped flying, we stopped taking cruises.
Mm-hmm.
All the kind of actions, ordinary actions that 2020 or bust has been promoting. And what we've said is that if 500 million people wake up to their own power, and as a function of waking up to their own power called, I can make a difference in ending the climate crisis, I've got that kind of power, and start taking action consistent with that, we can bridge the gap between where we're headed and where we need to be to actually be a viable future, a sustainable future. And if you look around in the past month, since the quarantine started, there's been dramatic impacts in terms of the environment.
Yes.
So that right there dispels the myth that individuals can't make the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the other myths, however, is that people won't change unless they're forced to. And people are forced to change. So that reinforces that one.
Well,
But let's follow this, okay? Because what everybody's now saying is, yes, it's been amazing for the environment, but as soon as we're not quarantined anymore, it's going to go right back to the way it was.
yeah.
And that's kind of predictable.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're offering is, what if people could wake up to their own power, to look around and say, oh my God, look what we've done. Look what we've done. Forget the fact that it was because we had to. Look what we've done. Look at the kind of power that we've got. And what if we could wake up to that kind of having our own power, not forced to change?
Right.
So rather than the actions being what am I allowed to do and what am I not allowed to do, what if the actions that I take could be an expression rather of what I can or can't do, because the people with power told me I can or I can't? What if those actions could be an expression of the difference that I'm committed to making in the world?
Yep.
And that's the kind of empowerment that we're talking about that was never going to come from. See, nothing outside you can ever give you that kind of power.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing outside you can take that kind of power away.
Yeah.
And what we're offering is that it becomes available when you wake up to what you've been arguing for that takes your power. Because one of the things that empowerment costs you something, it doesn't come cheap. There's a cost to it. And what it costs to be empowered, the way we work with empowerment, what it costs you is all of the reasons, arguments, justifications, and certainties that you have about why you don't have power.
Yes.
You can't have both. You can't have both. See, it's much easier to not be empowered. You don't have to do anything. You can just bitch about how come the people with the power don't have any, aren't doing it.
Mm-hmm.
If you actually are empowered, you have to do something. And you can't blame it. You can't blame people for what's not happening. I think that's one of the most powerful and difficult deals about 2020 or bust, is that it's the breakthrough that we're after is a breakthrough of responsibility.
Yes.
And when you take responsibility, then it's really yours.
Yes.
It's all mine. The government's mine. The fossil fuel industry's mine. It's not good guys and bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the current construct of power as it is. It's not the good green people and the bad fossil fuel industry. It's not the good Democrats and the bad Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
The kind of power we're talking about lives outside of the current construct of humanity itself. So we see the climate crisis as an opportunity for humanity to free itself from its self-imposed constructs, so that things not just like the end of the climate crisis, but peace actually become a viable option. It can be peace as a self-expression rather than simply the absence of war.
Mm-hmm.
So I think our time is up. Right?
Well,
Probably
let
in more ways than one, right, Diane? Huh?
Absolutely.
Hey,
I'm like,
oh my
I feel
God,
empowered.
Look at that. Oh my God, with an A on it and everything.
I totally love that.
Oh my God.
Oh, I totally want one.
Listen, and depending on the day, that A can stand for many different things, can it?
Awesome. So our
Hey,
time
how great to see you. I one of these days I'd like to see you in person, not just virtually, but that's still good at this stage, right?
love it. Adam has one too. I'm wondering where they got them. Come on, give it over. So Lachlan, I just want to share, Andrew Becker is here, and he was on the 8 o'clock show. So you could bring him in and just like
Andrew's. I'm sure Andrew's got his own show. My God, the wrestling mathematician. That guy's awesome.
Awesome. So let's let Andrew come on, and Andrew, why don't I bring you in? There you go.
Oh, Andrew, how great is that? I love
Andrew, you've got yourself on mute.
Oh,
Only you can unmute yourself when you mute yourself. It's a direct analog to what Lachlan was just saying.
I just put a brick wall behind me. I like this.
Well, what I'm saying, Lachlan, are you ready to get off? You can continue the dialogue.
No. I want Andrew's got his spot here. And Andrew, we just came on early to work out all the technical glitches for you. So I hope you appreciate that.
Well, I was supposed to be working with somebody else. I was just facilitating his presentation. So
yeah, wait a minute. Waji Hot is an amazing videographer that was going to be on here, and we were going to continue dialogue and playing. And I said, Andrew, you should do this because it's about farms, and you should bring Lachlan in because we got to talk about food, because you haven't talked about food yet, Lachlan.
I'm
waiting because my wheelhouse is food.
I understand, Lynn. God love you. God love you.
You're not going to come to my wheelhouse. It's like, come on.
No,
Adam just told me, he said, get them to stay on.
You have a wheel as big as everything, right? So
yeah, Andrew should do the wheelhouse though. He should be the guide. He's the one in charge here. Like he'll just. You can bring people in. I can bring people to you, Andrew. You just tell me what you want. Would you like some friends? Would you want alone?
Friends. I don't have anything prepared, so.
Well,
okay.
But hold on, Andrew, because make the determination. Okay, I just wanted to finish up in terms of this piece that we were on, if that's okay. Okay, just because.
Forgive me. I'm sorry.
No. I knew the time was up, so I didn't know. Now I know what's happening. I just wanted to see, Diane, was there anything that you wanted to say You know, because this really, you know, all kidding aside, I mean, I'm you know, was fortunate enough to be invited by you to have this conversation. So you're the one that matters here. So anything.
Well, with the climate crisis, it's frustrating to me
Yeah.
that I've been working on it for 7 years and
Yeah.
it gets worse.
Yeah.
I don't think that's because of me though.
No, I understand. Yeah. Yeah, and just the only thing is, just so what I offer, Diane, and this is not at all to make anybody feel good or okay, but
Mhm.
if you'll recall, and again, I don't know what you were doing before we met, all right, but I know I've known you for, you know, I don't know what it's been, 4 years, something like that. You think?
No, more
maybe?
like 2.5.
Like I
2.5.
said, it seems like 4. Just kidding. Okay, so. Yeah, right. But look, in terms of this language business, right? That language has something to do with the reality that we live in.
Yeah.
And that the power that we have is really consistent with that reality. So when 2020 or bust, we got into this deal, right?
Yeah.
The couple things that we saw that were really missing, one was the whole business of empowerment. It
Mhm.
was what was missing was any real power on the part of individuals as they related to themselves in relationship to the crisis.
Mhm.
So when I went to conferences and they said, okay, this is going to be about individuals, it was all about politics.
Uh-huh.
The only thing individuals could do was march, vote, sign petitions, but nothing about direct action.
Right.
So we wanted to bring that to the party. And the other thing we wanted to bring to the party or bring to the conversation of climate change is the whole business of ending climate change. Nobody was talking about ending it.
Yeah.
Lots of progress, lots of doing the best we can, lots of blah, 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 right? But we wanted to bring ending it and something finite about that you could produce, you know, specific actions in a specific amount of time to produce a specific result. And if those actions didn't happen in that amount of time and that result didn't get produced, there would be specific consequences.
Mhm.
But it was specific.
Yes.
And that's why it was 2020 or bust, not as soon as we can or bust.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So if you look now in the conversation, there is a conversation for individual action that wasn't there before. And there's also now a conversation for ending it. So I can completely appreciate when you say it's gotten worse because it has in terms of the actual what's being emitted, okay?
Yes.
But if we stay true to that, if you alter the conversation people live in, it will allow for a different kind of reality in which they're living that they call reality, and their actions are going to alter absolutely consistent with that reality. And we see it with 2020 or bust all the time, right? We saw it with you, that when people see, okay, that there is something possible, that it is available to me to make a difference in this situation, a difference that I didn't see I could make before, when that you can start to see that you couldn't see before. When reality alters like that, everybody that we talk to, almost to a person, says, wow, what can I do? I want to make a difference. What are the actions to take?
Yeah.
And then we offer the actions. So it's not just pie in the sky. And then people start taking them. And so now back to what Lynn said, and then this will be the end of it, I promise. But one of the actions that we offer people to take is to go to a plant-based diet.
Mm-hmm.
Enormous planetary environmental impact that happens when you move from eating beef to, you know, a plant-based diet.
Yeah.
In terms of the forest land that doesn't have to be cut down, in terms of the water that doesn't have to be used. It's just amazing, amazing impact. And then when people see that, all of a sudden it's like, wow, I'm not going to eat a hamburger today, but that's as a function of my own empowerment. It empowers me not to eat that hamburger. That action empowers me, and it expresses who I am in the world as a global citizen that makes a difference. Rather than I'm going to deprive myself because there's something bad about it. Or my city now has mandated no hamburger, so I can't have one. So I have to drive to Connecticut now to go to McDonald's or whatever I would do.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
So
And 2020 or bust did get me to do that.
Absolutely.
Participating.
Exactly. And you're participating now as a function of your own self-expression, not because 2020 or bust told you what to do, or it's a 2020 or bust way to live.
Right.
And if we can get a critical mass of humanity to have that kind of awakening, man, we can do anything, not just the climate crisis, human trafficking. I mean, whatever it is that else that's out there that just seems like so too big, and so it isn't. It's only too big because the reality that we live in determined that, not because it's actually the case. It's as big as it is. There ain't no too big. It's like when we got into this deal and they said, oh, I talked to all the experts and they said, oh, individuals can't end the climate. It's just way too complex. So I'm like, that's bull. If you go to the doctor and she says, hey, you're going to die, but I can't treat you because it's too complex. You don't go home and die. You get a different doctor.
Right.
So there you go. That's empowerment. I've hogged up 12 minutes of your time, Andrew. Thank you for being generous about that. We can blame Jeremy for the 30 minutes that I got cut off at the beginning. Just kidding.
Well, I see there's someone that wants to join in.
It's great to see you, Andrew.
I see you too.
Great to see you. I think the last time I actually saw you was at Joyce's house, right? Yeah.
We did the Global Youth Summit.
Yeah, that was awesome. Awesome.
I don't know how to bring her on, but there was someone in the chat to join us.
Is Jeremy still there?
I don't know.
Oh, I like that, Diane. I like spinning around like that.
A little seasick.
I'm going to
she
get
is.
off of my phone. Oh, great.
Welcome,
Hi,
Lori.
Marshall.
You are muted.
If we don't have a...
All right. Well, I'm going to take
There
off,
you are.
Andrew, okay? Because I was scheduled for this gig for at 11. It's 11:14 here now, so I'm going to take off. But it was great to see you. Thank you for letting us take a little bit of your time. And Diane, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Just a total joy. And Lori, wonderful to meet you. And have a wonderful time here on your streaming to the future and actions of impact and awesome. So again, one last plug, 2020 or bust. Go to our website. We're planting 1 million trees. You can help us with that campaign and download the 2020 or bust app and get into action. It's an app that's designed to empower you, not just tell you what to do. All right, everybody.
Right.
Thank you. I love you. Bye.
Thank you, Lachlan.
Hey, bye.
Bye.
Hi.
Hi, Lori.
Hi, Andrew. I'd love to hear about you and your work and share some of my thoughts for the actions of impact.
I'm here supporting other talks. I don't have anything prepared for this.
Okay, and this is the actions of impact talk to talk about the actions that you want to take, or?
No.
Okay, what is this?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, here we are. It's no longer a fireside chat with Lachlan and Diane.
So we get to create it.
We'll create it.
So I heard a very disturbing and powerful piece today that Michael Moore produced about our future and about how much industrial mechanisms are needed for all green energy. How much rare metals are used for solar, how much rare metals are used for the electric car, and how much metals are used for wind, and how biomass, which touts itself as ecologically sound, is basically using industrial machines to destroy forests. And that one of the actions that we can take, I don't know if this is in 2020 or bust, is to consume less, to just cut back our our consumption and to have less population, because we have a picture that we can have a green economy by consuming the way we do now. And it's not possible.
Right.
And so part of my action is to tell the story that we can live more simply
Yes.
and spend our time with each other, and not buying stuff that's manufactured that's going to end up in the landfill,
Yes.
and just making a different economy. So it's extremely, buy less stuff is one of our 5 main actions. Well, that is so important.
Yes. It used to be on our app and it's not right now. And I don't know why. Periodically they take some off and put some on, and I don't know why. But that is huge, is to cut our consumption.
It is huge, and we have an economy that's based on that consumption. And
Yes.
the word economy comes from the root of to make home. And we have structured a society where we all leave home in order to make home. And we have left home and produced all this stuff that is resulting in the destruction of our earth, so that
Yes.
we don't have a home. And so it's so important that we work together to create this home. And there are many, many people of color on our planet who are suffering the most from COVID, from climate change. And another thing I hope you have on your app is to check your privilege, because
Right.
is that a part of the app?
No.
Yeah. So every
So that's a
opportunity
recommendation from you.
Yeah. is to check our privilege.
Yeah.
Because
And what do you
Yeah,
want to say what
and-
you mean
and-
by that?
Yeah, let's make that
I mean, I
vivid
think
so
I
that,
know,
so
but
that
I'd rather
people know
have
how
you
to
say it.
engage with that, Lori.
Right. So you can be privileged and not have white skin. You can have white skin and not be privileged.
Uh-huh.
So checking your privilege means, did I get opportunities for education? Did I get opportunities for jobs? Did I get opportunities for loans?
Uh-huh.
Did I get opportunity for financing
Right.
that other people are not getting?
Yes.
And, you know, if you were raised in a school system that had lots of resources, I come from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I grew up in a white suburb where the students basically had $20,000 paid per person, per kid. And a half hour away are students who get $5,000 paid per kid. My high school has training rooms for ballet, for dancing, for instruments, touch smart screens and everything, you know, the incredible swimming pools. And just remember, we live in a world where a very small portion of the people have access to the kinds of resources, support, belief in yourself that you can do your dream. Just, you know, we need to think through what privileges are. You know, I feel so spoiled to have a roof over my head, to have food, to have some financial security, even though most all my work left for the next 3 months because of the virus.
Right.
And I have students who are living in their cars. I have students who are living in those, what are they called? Where storage sheds. Who are just paying the money to live in a storage
Yes.
shed with nobody know that they're in this storage facility. And I
probably
have,
the smallest one that's very small.
yeah, with no heat. And I have students in Ghana who are in lockdown and just don't have any food and get beaten by the cops if they go outside. And, you know, we just have to check our privilege every day.
Mhm.
And that's part of being grateful for what we have, but it's also wanting a world that works for all beings, all people.
Yes. Yes.
And so that's a very important element.
Yes.
May I ask what your teaching duties are?
Thank you. I have a nonprofit called Unity Through Creativity Foundation, and we serve young people throughout the world using art as a peace building tool, and using art to teach collaboration, communication, and creativity, to address community challenges with innovative solutions. So
Great.
I have been a classroom teacher in rural Virginia, in inner city Pittsburgh, in California. I've worked with underserved youth doing project-based learning and arts integration for about 35 years. And yeah, I still am in touch with many of my students.
Thank you. Just for relatedness, I'm a high school math teacher in inner city
Oh.
Nashville.
Oh, in Nashville.
So not only did we have the the virus and everything dealing with that, but before that, of course, we got hit by the tornadoes.
Oh,
So there's still a couple holes in East Nashville, and we had some students that had been displaced by that we just we may not have seen again in the classroom.
yeah.
We got hit by one right after the other.
I just talked to a sixth grade teacher in Santa Rosa, and he has a class of 35 kids, and only 22 are doing the online learning. And he has no idea what's happened to the other kids. They're just not showing up. Is that true for you, Andrew?
We're still getting into the what distance learning looks like for us, because there's a lot of equity issues, especially in a large county like us.
Yeah.
Making sure that the students that we serve have food resources, whether make sure they have access to computers so that we could do things like that. Like we're having to make sure that we go through those steps.
So what is the district saying is the plan for launching distance learning?
We've essentially been on spring break since around March 11th.
Okay.
And we have been providing educational resources to students and getting ourselves trained so that we can start up properly on this coming Monday.
Right.
And I'm sure some of the schools have been doing what they've been doing. But every school, again, we're a very large county. Every school has different resources and different challenges.
Tell me about your classes. How many kids? What are you teaching? How many kids in each class?
So I teach what are called integrated math 2, 3, and pre-calculus. It's kind of like geometry, algebra, for those of you that aren't familiar with the integrated math structure. We basically just combine the two. The classes are combined in just a different way.
Yeah.
And they're called integrated math. That's one we use in Nashville. And let's see. Class sizes can vary. I think I've got the biggest one's probably 30. Smallest one I think is 18. So
how many classes a day?
We have a block schedule, so we'd have 4 classes per day.
Yeah.
With one being a planning block.
And how big?
We are very short on teachers, so I gave up one of my days so that I could teach another class.
Thank you. And how many kids are in the school?
700 something.
And it's high school or middle school?
High school.
High school.
They don't do pre-cal in middle school.
Okay. Duh. Right. So 700 kids, and math is about concentrating and being able to pay attention, and it can be very comforting to people who have very chaotic lives. It can be a lifeline. And how are the kids doing with their concentration in your class?
So one of the challenges that we face is not all of the kids had a teacher every single year. And like I said, we're understaffed as it is now. And so while we're providing, what we can, we're still missing teachers in certain subjects. At least that's the where we were when the school year, or when the classroom portion of the school ended. And so there's a lot of, I have to build up confidence, because everyone, it just like Lachlan said, we create. I'm not good at math. I mean, I've got a master's degree sitting on the wall over here, and I can tell you there's no such thing as being good or bad at math, because I've struggled in classes. I've been good. It's like that's not a meaningful distinction, but we give it meaning.
Yeah, right.
I just spoke with a student today that I had previously, who's gone on to college and taken a calculus class, and her story was that she was really struggling with it. And I said, hey, when I was your age, I hadn't taken calculus yet. Your story of how good or bad you are at this subject, you're ahead of where I was. I've got a master's degree in mathematics.
Right. So the kids now, if they're watching the news at all, are seeing the importance of scientific verification of treatments for the virus. They're seeing the graphs about who has the virus and where and how fast it's accelerating. And math is just showing up in this virus time in a very powerful way. And I always care that kids are doing real work as much as possible. I don't know if you've heard about all the research that people are doing where inmates are being researchers for plant growth and for seeing what happens when several different kinds of plants are growing together versus growing in isolation to help with reforestation. So there's all these opportunities for citizen science, for looking at stars, and it just seems like we need our kids to be able to do real work now, and do something that has an impact, that our actions have impact, and that. Yes, because kids have a huge allergy to doing nothing, but to doing work for work's sake. And welcome, Abdul. Blessings to you.
Yeah.
Yes, we're talking
Thank
about
you so much.
how the young people, especially young people who have great challenges, that have challenges because of our society's racism and our class structure, can do real work and have a real impact. And I don't have the answer, Andrew. And I know that you know these kids and you know what they need. And, if there's any way that I can be of support to them doing real work, I'm here to do project-based learning that integrates their mathematics, applies it.
Excellent. We'll connect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abdul,
Awesome.
I just see from Lynn that you made the posters, that you're a graphic artist. They were just beautiful.
Thank you.
Each-
Hi guys, how are you?
Good. Each one of your posters was an inspiration.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, guys, I am Abdul Fatah Sumro by my caste. I am belong to Pakistan in Sindh. Sindh is the province. So last 7 months, I am working with Mama Len as a web developer and a graphics designer. So I am very glad to meet to all peoples in 2 sessions before today, and I will join today. So I am very happy to listen to you and see you again. So I am very glad, especially Lori, you sent us singing tree. So when I see, very nice. It is a pleasure of Pakistan.
Oh, how wonderful. I had so much love to make the background of the singing tree. And Andrew, the singing tree is a project of where the whole world's invited to create together, that was given to me by an 8-year-old girl who had that vision. And so we're using trees to make a forest with the whole world being invited to create together. And I'm making the olive singing tree of health now, where the whole world can make images on olive leaves of what is health, and honoring how we're taking care of ourselves, and we're honoring health workers, and we're honoring our moments of healing that we've heard about, and honoring people that have died of COVID. And your school is invited to help, and I figured out a way to do it virtually. And people don't have to have a printer. All they need is a phone and a piece of paper, well, maybe a computer screen. But anyhow, I'd be glad to give that invitation. And Abdul, maybe I don't want to take your work for granted, but maybe you could help me with an invitation for the olive singing tree of health. Hi, who is this?
Yes, he is my nephew. He is behind to me. 2 nephews behind to me.
Oh, hello.
They are. See you too. Thank you. His name is Muhammad Ali, and Ahmad Ali. Sorry, his name is Ahmad Ali, and his name is Muhammad Ali.
Hi. Beautiful
Thank
name.
you, sir.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello.
This name is the Islamic name.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So they are sitting with me and in my room. Here we live together. Whole family live together.
Mm.
So if we live alone, so we feel lonely and upset because I can't live with kids and family, because my child would live away from my family. My mom and my dad. My mom and dad live in a village. I was come in a city for education with my elder sister and elder brother. Few years come my younger brothers and younger sisters. After that, we live in a city, and nowadays my mom and dad live in a village, and now I am living in a big city of Sindh, and my younger brother live in UAE, Dubai, and one younger brother live in city. Other city, but we live together in a monthly meetup and at home, and lunch, dinner, and one night and enjoy at home.
Nice.
So we are very glad.
That's very good.
So you said about singing tree. So when I hear Mama Lynn, it is the 85 singing tree in the world. So when I have curiosity. I asked to question Mama Lynn. So I asked, where is the 84 singing tree, and who's the Mac? So she has not replied me, because maybe he not have knowledge. But I feel a touchy singing tree because I am living in Sindh, and you add Sindhi culture, civilization, Ajrak, and in the root side you know red color and white color is circles. So I this is the touchy for me and for Sindhi peoples, because Sindh is the 5,000 years old civilizations.
Oh my goodness. That's
Yes.
so powerful.
So this is the icon for us, Ajrak and Sindhi topi. Maybe you know topi, Sindhi topi, but Ajrak is the our civilizations. When guest came in Sindh, so we give the gift ajrak and a Sindhi topi. Especially we wearing Sindhi topi and ajrak. Maybe you see Len pictures in schools, and if she was visiting in school, so Mama Len wearing ajrak. This is the our civilization.
Abdul, do you see?
Yes, Mama Len. Yes, I see. Yes, I see.
I have to show. Abdul, I have
Yes.
a question. I have a question. Do you have the
Yes.
beautiful pictures you made on your computer? Can you share your screen?
I am on the mobile.
Okay, okay. I will try to get them on mine. My computer, my other computer died, so I'm working at it. Andrew had a good idea, but I'll be there shortly. I'm going to say goodbye for a minute, but I wanted to show, I have many Adraks. I brought one back for Laurie Marshall. I was the one to say, please put this on the tree. This is Sind. And then I talked to Saeed Azimi, and he said, get the, maybe, Gufran, I think, said mango tree. So this is where Laurie was like so blessed. She did such a beautiful job.
Or especially mango is very famous in the world, mango of Sindh. So you add is already mangoes. It is the icon for us also.
Okay, have fun for a minute. I'm going to hop off here.
Lori, I can't hear you. Lori, I can't hear you. Sorry, Andrew. Sorry, Andrew. I think I don't
Can you hear
made
me?
your poster because I haven't your pictures. So I'm very, very sorry.
I'm ready to drop
I
off
asked you.
if that would help. I've been on for quite a while, so I'd love to have you stay, Abdul, if it helps.
Yes, I am here. I wanna hear to you, and I learn English because my English is not good. So I wanna
all right.
learn to you. I wanna learn from you. So please speak, and I wanna learn.
Sure. So Lori, is your microphone not working? Can you hear us? I can't hear you either.
You must be muted, Lori.
Could it be on
No.
your computer? Because it's not in the program. Could the computer itself have been muted?
It's unmuted here.
So, Lori, I think if you reload the page, and we can add you back in, and maybe that might reset something. So nod if you understand what I'm saying. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna hunt these pictures down. They're just on my other computer that crashed, so I have to hope that it works. Okay, thanks, Jeremy. Oh, Diane,
Yes, Andrew.
you're more than welcome
Please
to
tell something.
Thank you so much. Sorry. I just wanted to tell, she had asked to leave, Diane, so I just want to say thank you for all your contribution. I love the candles. They were amazing. And
thank you.
You're really great with Lachlan and the empowerment talk. So I didn't mean to interrupt, but I wanted to just know that you're tired and you wanted to jump off. So please, we understand.
Thank you.
No worry.
Okay.
And
Well-
Lori, I think your tech issue is persisting, actually, right? Yeah. You may need to do the larger turn it off and turn it back on thing. You could maybe unplug the she doesn't let him get her down there.
She may have unplugged her microphone.
A charade. Like, what's that game? We can have that game.
Yeah.
What's the game of charades? No, what is it called? I'm totally.
Charades is a lot easier when you can actually keyboard it.
What's
This
that?
is what I'm thinking right now.
Never mind. I'm getting giddy. Abdul, share more about Sindh and our trip. Talk about, what you experienced with me being there. It was so much fun. And Abdul was there every part of my time. And we even rode a camel. So if I can get the camel picture, I'll try to bring the movie on.
Yes, okay. You can share.
Yeah, but I don't know how to. I don't know how to share. Maybe Jeremy can help me with that on the backside, or I'll ask.
You shared on Facebook.
So can you share Facebook from here, Jeremy?
So yeah, if you have the picture on your computer, you can go to share screen and then select the window of the app that you have it open in. And I've been wondering about this myself in terms of, how do I share something without, having the border on it? I just want to share the picture in. And that's something I don't know how to do yet.
Actually, Zelda's son fixed it today. She had to use just the arrows, which was really cool.
Using just
Mr.
the
Becker.
arrows.
Mr. Becker. Not sure what I did. Okay, I'll bring you back in there. We're back. We're back.
I had an itchy clicky finger.
I'm gonna try, but I tried with Zelda when Lori was on. I tried to come in and do that with the 2 pictures of Zelda, and I couldn't bring them in. So I don't know what I did wrong. So I'll go try it and I'll let you know. But they're not on this computer that I'm watching with you guys right now. It's on my other computer. So you'll be seeing me log in maybe again on my other computer. Okay.
Okay.
Hi, Jeremy. How are you?
I'm better with rest. Thank you for asking. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
It is, but
Yes.
it's laggy.
Still can't hear me.
Well, so Laura, we're hearing you, but now your video seems a little slow. So,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Okay. Hey,
Now we hear you.
You were lip syncing perfectly then.
Okay.
Yeah. Welcome to real time.
Does that work?
That works.
Okay.
This is the
Thank you.
energetic. Okay.
Exactly. Well said.
Yes, good. Well, I am going to have to go soon, but so happy to meet you, Abdul. And if you might be interested in helping to make us a poster for the Olive Singing Tree of Health, of course, I would pay you for that work. And Lyd will put me in touch with you. And Andrew, if I can be of support to your students and your faculty, to help them, just make the time that the kids spend as meaningful and as emotionally juicy and loving. I'm here. I'm part of the village.
Cool. Well, right now we're trying to figure out, what education in this paradigm looks like, for the next, I guess, 4 weeks left, right?
It
we're
looks
discovering
like
too.
caring about what's going on with the kids and what they're experiencing and decreasing their stress and doing just what you said about helping them believe in their capacity. Yeah, we are pivoting. That was my word for today. Everything got right. As the coronavirus is pivoting, helping us pivot, and climate change is helping us pivot. And we just have to support this incredible planet we've been blessed with, and all the humans. Well, it was really great to be with you all.
Thank you.
So happy to be, and so happy to be with you, Andrew. Yes, and Lynn, thank you for everything, and Jeremy and Adam, thank you for everything. And it was an amazing event. Blessings. Bye.
All right. So what's going on?
Yes. Yes, Andrew, tell me something about yourself. What do you do, and what can I do?
So, like I was telling Lori, I'm a high school math teacher. I teach, high school, pre-calculus and algebra, geometry. We call them integrated math. In my other life, I'm a professional wrestler.
Wow, I like wrestling. When I think I watch wrestling 1999. When is the heavyweight champion Rock? My
Mhm.
favorite wrestler Rock. Nowadays, my favorite wrestler Roman Reigns. So I like it then. I like
And you know
these.
me.
So I like it. Like it game wrestling. Maybe you like and now. So you fight in arena
Mhm.
in
Well, we
Kalam.
used to back when we had crowds. We wouldn't always draw crowds, but we try.
You tried and came in Raw and SmackDown and NXT. You tried?
Um, I haven't had a tryout, but I work very closely with people who work up there. I was on a call yesterday with some of the referees and some of
As
the
a referee.
wrestlers
Wow.
that come in and out. They just had a major release up there. So we probably ran one of the last shows before everything closed down back in March. I think it was March. It was March 13th. The show was called Friday the 13th. And we were running a small armory in Tennessee, which is, if you know where Tennessee is, it's middle of the South. And it was a small enough armory building that we weren't going to draw enough people that it would, the capacity of the building was only 200. And so we were able to run it before the virus really shut everything down. And we were probably one of the last shows that got to do that. And we took the opportunity to ask the crowd to download the app and create something there.
So can you share us app and we download it and give the people so they will download it?
Are you asking about downloading the app or showing the matches?
Yes.
So the previous talk we just we're talking about downloading the 2020 or Bust app, which I'm assuming is about
2020
to join the
bust is on.
screen.
Okay. Yes. I will download. And now, yes, nowadays one more companies launch in USA. I think AWE. I think it is this name,
AEW.
and it is Pakistani owners Malak. I don't know. I forget his name. He's a Pakistani.
AEW,
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I forget. It escapes me. But we've had a lot of those guys come work at our shows too. It's not a huge community. We have new friends joining us, and there's a gentleman on the screen.
Fatima, can you mute your screen?
So, Lynn, oh, I see. You're talking about in the background there. Okay.
I feel like I'm playing Hollywood Squares. It's kind of fun. That's a dated reference. I'm not sure what's happening. In these bags, there are not ordinary
I was
humans.
muted, but I got to shut this big screen off. But this is Abdul's tape that he made in Pakistan when I was there.
Okay.
And when we were passing out torch seeds. So our whole torch seed program, which a lot of you don't know the whole program, but hopefully a little bit later we're going to talk about it. Okay. So I'm going to shut one off. Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Oh, good. Okay. So Abdul, let's see if we can press on this. Oh, shoot. Oh, you know what I'm doing? I'm pressing on I'm pressing on the link instead of the, sorry. I'm pressing on the right screen. Let's see here.
के अंदर वो नॉर्मल वाले सीड नहीं है, ये ऑर्गेनिक सीड है, देसी सीड है, जो आम आर्टिफिशियल टाइप के जो सीड्स होते हैं जिनमें मेडिसिन होती है, वो सीड्स और उनसे ग्रो होने वाले वेजिटेबल, उनसे फ्रूट्स, वो हमारे जिस्म को फायदा नहीं देते, तो नुकसान देते हैं ना, वो हमारी बॉडी को नुकसान देते हैं। जब ब्रिटेन के शहर में ये आया, अमेरिका के अंदर 2 किस्म की चीजें मिलती हैं, एक वो मिलती है जो ऑर्गेनिक फूड होता है, ऑर्गेनिक का मकसद है देसी, हमारे पास जैसे देसी मुर्गे है, मुर्गे को हम चिकन नहीं कहते, वो है, और जो फार्मी मुर्गे है उसको हम चिकन कहते हैं, और अगर हम फार्मी मुर्गे खाएंगे तो हमारी सेहत डाउन होगी। मैंने आप पाकिस्तान के लिए बहुत कुछ सोचा, पाकिस्तान के बच्चों के लिए किया, तो वो वहां से ऑर्गेनिक सीड लेकर आई है कि हम पाकिस्तान से पाकिस्तान के बच्चों को ऑर्गेनिक फ्रूट्स, ऑर्गेनिक वेजिटेबल्स ये खिलाएं, ताकि आप जो है वो सेहतमंद रहे। अगर आपका जिस्म सेहतमंद होगा तो आप अच्छा बात करेंगे, अगर बीमार रहेंगे तो हम काम नहीं कर सकेंगे। अब ये सीड आपके पास है, ये ऑर्गेनिक सीड है, इनके अंदर ये सीड जो है जब ग्रो किए मैंने में, तो उसके अंदर आज इस्तेमाल की देसी इस्तेमाल की, उसके अंदर कोई आर्टिफिशियल कोई मेडिसिन वो चीज फर्टिलाइज कर दी उसने।
All right. So that movie they made, they did it all in English. The Torch team, Abdul took this video and then they created this movie. And so the work they've done for the Torch family has been amazing. So I'm going to bring a couple things up. Abdul, share a little bit about what the kids experienced, because this was the day that we did the Singing Tree project as well. So we'll try to play you a couple flicks from there. I'll get another one up in a minute. Go ahead, Abdul.
Yes. When Mama Len open box and show tree, name is the Singing Tree. So people looked and she is a normal. They are looking in the normal way. It is the normal. But when Mama Len is start gum on the Singing Tree posters. So I see, I look what is she is doing in my mind, but I am when I was as a cameraman and Mama Len mobile in my hand and I am recording videos, recorded videos. So kids came there and Mama Len told them so fill on the color. Which you want color on papers. So Mama Len gave the lips of trees, and people as coloring. Kids are coloring on the papers, and birds, some birds. So after that we stuck on lips on their Singing Tree and birds pictures on there. After 1 hour we complete this make a tree, we go and take a tea. After I think after 1 hour gum is dry, so we looked. I am shocked. What is this in my mouth? One word say wow. So Mama Len see and laugh on me. What happened? So I looked and I shocked. It is the amazing Singing Tree. I take a selfie, but I uploaded on my Facebook. It is the amazing experience for me and school of kids. they are not only kids, they are a lot of teachers and principal. They shocked, what is this? When I was not go there because of Corona. I hope after Corona and lockdown, I will go there. We told them, please, this picture in frame and put on the wall. They are promised us. So I will call my cousin Gufran Andrew. Maybe you know Gufran Khan. So he will ask to. There is the one people. Maybe they are put on the wall. Maybe no. So I don't know. But Mama Len share on the seed videos. So we Mama Len distribute seed bags. So kid taking. I think they are thinking it is a big award for us. It is not very big deal of a bag of seed, but they are thinking it is an award for us. So thank you so much once again, Mama Len. You came in Pakistan and spend time. We gave the opportunities. We spend time with you. And when was I feel I meet my mom, same like my mom, because you hug us. So Pakistani society is in hug. So we feel what is the these relationship. So I feel hug me, my mom. So thank you so much, Mama Len.
So this is our year anniversary, and I just want to share with the people, Abdul, I love you as my son, but I just want to love you because you're we just shared so many things together, and we're going to get his pictures up, but we have a year anniversary right now, and it's a big celebration for this Earth Day. We started our pilot project 3 years ago, so it's not really in order, but I'm finding the videos, but this is a very exciting moment. This is kind of a documentation moment for the torch because this land right here was just donated to the Torch family. So I'm gonna just send you the picture. This is 100 canals, and 30 of it is going to go into production with anybody's donations. We're putting a fence up around, and this land is going into Torch Seeds, which is our academic program, which Abdul has helped a lot. So I hope you liked.
Yes, I liked because I talked to Shahzada Ehtisham. Inshallah, we will visit Chitral and visit his land because I have curiosity of visited to Chitral. Chitral is the amazing city and same like Switzerland.
So this is our coronavirus video that Abdul and Gufran also did for us.
Hello and Assalamu alaikum. This is me, RJ Muhammad Hasnain. The only way to be safe from the spreading of coronavirus is to stay at homes, avoid social gatherings, and stay in distance of 1 meter. And also wash your hands again and again. Thank you.
So this is what actually Waji made this one. Waji made this tape. Waji is another Torch videographer that was supposed to be on this call. So that's really perfect that we gave him that. So let's get to his beautiful posters. I'm going up the line of all the stuff he's done. He's done a tremendous amount of work. This is Zishan. Zishan has been with me since the beginning. He's a Torch Environment Ambassador. And he made one of the first organic films, and I have to find it in my repertoire, but He and I have been together a lot of years. He may come on tonight. Let's hope. Okay, so here he is.
Pakistani doctors are recognized for their professional caliber and competency. At the same time, when we are staying at home in compliance with outbreak of novel coronavirus syndrome VID-19, you are battling hard in the field to save us. It's just a gratitude and homage to all Pakistani doctors, paramedics, and nurses. It is to tell you that this whole nation is standing behind you. It is to tell you that we are so proud of you. It is to tell you that we are not afraid of this virus, because we know that you are competent enough to save us. It is to tell you that your devotion and dedications are truly appreciable. We love you. Salam, doctors.
So he's an amazing entrepreneur. He's made some really good videos. And Andrew, you would get laughing in the background when you see some of his videos because he's really funny. And I have a feeling that you would really rock with a couple of his videos because he's got a really fun enjoyment. His family grew up with a farm, and he, like I said, he made the first video for us for Torch. And if I find it, I'll play it. But I'm just giving a little history of Torch.
I do like to laugh.
I know he made a video about being in love with somebody that you met on virtual reality. And it's really funny.
We've all been there.
Really funny. So this is one of our times in Pakistan. This is Saeed Azimi. This is at a SDG. She'll be on tonight, I think. Here's the singing tree. Here's Ira. There's the team, Zishan. This is an award for SDGs in Pakistan that I got. I had a lecture here. Another Ira. There's Gufran and Abdul. So that's a little bit of our trip for Torch. So it's really kind of fun. I didn't know I was going to do this, but I'm still getting to you. I can stop, Andrew, if you want. If this is enjoyable, I can keep going.
I'm good with whatever.
This is Haji Khan's message. I don't know if anybody saw him, but for Earth Day, he sent a beautiful message, and he spoke in English. And when Haji Khan and I first met, he had no ability to speak English. He rode his bike across Pakistan, and we had 1.5 million views. He's ridden twice all the way through Pakistan and once almost all the way. Abdul, what can you say about Haji Khan? You know more than me.
Haji Khan Farosh is the peace ambassador of Pakistan, is the traveling on cycle, and his last tour I think is the 1500 kilometer on the cycle. Pakistan, one last side of Pakistan in Sindh, Karachi, he started and go to the Sibi. Sibi is the city, and his home there. So I don't know how much he days spend on the cyclist, but he's an amazing man and working for peace and humanity.
So he joined our Torch Peace project. I don't know how long, but quite a while ago. And he and I are very, very close. We met at the airport, and one of the stories about technology that I can share is that I had never met him. He hadn't met me, but we had talked online. And by the time I got there, we felt like we were a total family, and we had tears. He literally jumped off over this fence And he's so nimble, he's so fast, and he's so bright. But here's his message for Earth Day for everyone. Maybe everybody might hold on.
I can't hear him at all. We can't hear him. I don't think you can mute if you're sharing. Lynn, you're muted.
Saying we should protect our environment for every issue that we have. But maybe Fatima, can you? I know you're here. Fatima, you want to say a few words about your experience with the Torch family in Pakistan and our fun? Fatima?
Yes, I am here now.
Welcome.
Yes, Lynn, you want to say, I want to share my experience with the torch.
You are the torch. You are the torch.
Thank you so much. Who suggested this name, the torch, for your organization? Amazing. I can't hear you. आवाज क्यों नहीं आ रही? It is horse or camel? Camel riding. I mean, horse riding.
Mama Lynn? Mamalin,
Yes. Yes. I was laughing.
there are you gave the one words for us. Can you show me again?
Can I share?
Spicy Pakistani.
We have inside stories just like Buster.
Yeah.
A family.
So can you share? Can you share a story of there?
Yeah, give me, I want to show your posters. I'm not getting to the posters still. Give me a minute. Talk about it.
Yes.
Talk about it. Talk about the camel
Okay.
experience. You share the camel experience. You
No,
share. Yes,
I
you
not
share.
share.
I have experience.
Pakistan.
Andrew, when was sit
I
on the
have this
camel?
experience.
When was sit on the camel? So camel man commandment as I am going this area to this area. I will take 200 of 200 for 200 Pakistani rupees. We visit this area. After that, when we put on the camel man told me, I will give you 1,000 rupees. So I told him, why you are take money? You commandment with me 200. Now you tell me 1,000. So Mamalin not come and which between us. I will fight with him because he is a not committed people. And when Mamalin sit on a horse and riding on horse, so Sam like this man is the Sam. He told me I will take 2,000. So I am very shocked and I am very aggressive. But Mamalin gave one word: spicy Pakistani. They are people and me because they are not going with commandment. So after that, I am very angry on these people. So I'm a little bit working as a journalist. So I have a lot of uh, angry, and I am very angry. I go and commissioner office and uh, give the complaint to these people. What give message? What meet message to Mama Len and what what she say in other countries? What we give the message to other countries people? This is the fake because they are people looked at these. She is the foreigner. She have in dollars and she gave a lot of money, but they are thinking, but they're thinking for me. He not gave us. So it is a bad experience on my beach and the camel and horse.
Abdul, you share. I'm not going to open my mic, but you share when I put this up who this person is. Tell everybody who she is.
Yes, Mamalin?
I'm going to play this, but tell people who Taqwa Ahmed is.
Taqwa Ahmed. Taqwa Ahmed is the peace ambassador. So play this video.
Muhammad Hasnan. He's also the amazing boy. Very good speaker as well. Very confident RJ.
Mamalan, this video send me. I will made.
This is what Lori Marshall painted before Pakistan. Lori Marshall painted this.
This is the singing tree.
Abdul, you explain because it's making too much noise for me to be unmuted.
Andrew, this is the singing tree. This made poster Lori Marshall, and after now people is putting is some lips and bird pictures in. It is a very amazing. Maybe after make maybe Mamalan, you have video. Maybe you have pictures. You can show us. But it is the mute sound of this videos we can't hear. One man is the beer. He's the translator. There is the amazing, and it is the amazing translation for kids. What is the people?
Abdul took all these videos. Abdul took all these videos.
This video sound is not, I can't hear. Also, I can't hear to you. Please, you send me these videos through Google Drive. I will made these videos with logos and other things. So please send me these videos of singing trees, all videos. You have a lot of videos.
A video, maybe just mention him, Kazrat Rai. So Abdul made all these videos. Abdul, share about
Yes.
Kazrat Rai.
Andrew, he is Kasrat Rai and is a peace walker. He walked Pakistan to Saudi Arabia. I think he is walk 3,000, about to 3,000 kilometers in south of Pakistan to Saudi Arabia. I think it's 1 month ago, maybe 1 month. He walked in New Zealand for in peace walk for few people killed in mosque. One man and killed in mosque. He walked for these people. Peace walk Khyber Gate to Islamabad. Khyber Gate is the border line of Pakistan and Afghanistan. It is a border line. Islamabad, the capital city of Pakistan, is going peace walk for Pakistan. He is a Pakistani hero. This walk during Afghanistan and USA war. This time he is a walk.
He joined our team maybe 8 months ago. He was on yesterday with our talk. So he came on yesterday and spoke. Sidra did some work when we first opened up Torch yesterday morning. He spoke. He's an amazing man. He doesn't speak English very good, and so some of this is so funny because people get really shy.
But he's a very shy. My English is not good, but I am not shy. So today, last day, my wife said me, go and join center and learn English because you're working with English people. So please go and learn so you can communicate easily and hear and understand to English easily. So maybe I will join to centers after lockdown.
Come on by.
Mama Len, please share your experience. You sit in airport, I think, how much hours?
Say it again. Say it again.
Yes, share experience with Andrew.
Spicy Pakistan? Oh gosh.
Please share with
So we had some time,
this
and
experience.
we had time to be able to go to the beach, and I really wanted to see the ocean in Pakistan. You know, I never had gone to the beach. I love the ocean. I said, okay, let's go to the ocean. And then I saw the camels, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to ride. I've never rode a camel. And I thought, what greater place than riding a camel in Pakistan, because it's a country of camels. You drive down the street in Pakistan, and there's a herd of camels. There's a herd of, you could be anywhere, and there's big sheep herds in the middle of the highway. It's just like a whole journey. It's so wild. But I get off the camel, and the boy is only 15 years old. And he said to me, I want $1,200, 1,200 rupees. So Abdul goes to him, and he gets very angry, and they start fighting. And the boy's yelling, he's yelling, he's yelling, he's yelling. And I said, Abdul, what is going on? And he said, he's charging you too much. I said, how much is this? It's $10 American money. $10. Abdul's like, no, he's charging you too much. so he's going back. I said to Abdul, I said, when we got back in the car, I said, this is Spicy Pakistan. But we have a whole movie about Spicy Pakistan now from Saeed Azimi. And it's not so much of a, you know, the spiritual values of Pakistan has more hospitality than anywhere in America. It's really special. And when you start looking at it, it's quite a powerful time that I've had. And Abdul, you've been a big part of that. And I just, you know, I give thanks that the viewers here, I hope you're seeing what's happening. What are, COVID just brought all these inequalities. What does that mean? Somebody's making some statements. But anyway, Abdul has done tremendous work for the Torch family. We must have 50 videos, and we have so much coverage now. And it's all Abdul and his cousin Gufran. And they've worked really hard. And Jawad actually in the backyard. So you two talk, and if I do find, I'm still looking. Hang on. But you talk for a minute. I'm gonna get off. Abdul, you share something.
Can always talk wrestling.
About because my sister on hand on me gave me share. She said me share Wi-Fi hotspot. I will check update. So I am sharing with her my hotspot and package and my mobile. So lockdown, I have I have not Wi-Fi connection at my home. So I'm using through mobile data and share data with my families and my and they when was work on my laptop, so I share hotspot. So Mama Len when came in Pakistan, and she she arrived she was arrived at airport. So he haven't he have I think she Mama Len, you have arrival visa. So their embassy said, immigration said, give me who's the letter, Mama Len?
One of Abdul's, this is one of Abdul's posters. that he made. I gave the words and he made the poster and he picked the picture. I think what Abdul's saying is when I got to Islamabad, Karachi, the second year, they wouldn't let me come in. I had a visa on arrival the year before, but this day they would not let me come to Pakistan. So I was stuck in the airport. And Swamiji shared this today, Abdul. He called the Pakistan government for me with Pravin. I didn't know that. And Swamiji actually talked to the ambassadors and they got in touch with Saeed Azimi. And Saeed Azimi's friend came and got me. But it took 17 hours in the airport. And I must have had 20 people helping me try to get into the country. I said, I'm not going home. I have the singing tree. I have to take this. I have to take the torch seeds. I'm not going home. And so it was quite the journey. But this is one of his posters. He's an amazing artist in his way of understanding how to be present. And I just appreciate so much what you've done for the torch. Let's see if we can find one. My computer's kind of dying, so we might not be able to get too far. We have one for each of the here we go. Torch piece. You've seen these on the website, but this is all that he's created. Abdul, what's your passion? Tell people your passion.
Maulana, my passion is I wanna learn Python language and something. My passion is good developer.
Well, share more so I can find one of your other movies.
And my dream is I wanna make a good home. I live together. My whole family live together in one home. So it is my dream. So I'm trying.
Andrew, tell us something about you.
Gosh, I don't have any good camel stories.
I want to hear the carrot story.
Oh, carrot story. So one of the wrestling promoters wasn't using me regularly. And I found this hot dog suit at Target, a store, which, hang on, it's right here. Oh, the green screen's going to catch the mustard. Let me turn it off for a second. I have to use blue screens with this thing.
How do you do that? I don't know. You have to have something behind you, like Zoom?
There's a green screen behind me.
Oh,
But
yeah.
if I have the green screen on, the relish gets caught up in the... So the gear that I have for this character, I have to show you this, is right in the hallway. Hang on.
Do they wear costumes at all in Pakistan? Abdul?
Mamalin? Yes, Mamalin.
Costumes in Pakistan?
In costume?
Yeah.
All right.
Here
So
is
the costume that I had made, these are the tights, have, let me get out of the nameplate.
Oh.
A hot dog wearing a Fonzie coat.
Oh, that's so fun.
And on the other side, he got mustard in his hand, and the back says...
And you made that?
Huh?
You made it?
No, I had the gear. Our gear man made it. Guilty of being delicious.
charity of beginning at...
Hang on.
Oh,
Charity
too
baking.
much. Too much. Awesome.
Well, so I started bringing that character to shows and just going out during intermission, because then the crowd would have no choice but to engage with me.
Excellent. Excellent.
And about a year ago, I needed to clean the suit, so I left it out at my mom's house for Christmas to air out, and I couldn't find it for a while. I was like, well, what happened to it? And I just figured I must have lost it or something. And I needed a costume for a show, and so I went to the costume shop and found the carrot. And the we were filming something. We were filming something for like a video game or something like that. And just because I had the suit with me, I put the carrot on. I went out during intermission just to interact with the fans. Someone took a picture on Reddit and put it on Reddit, and it trended for about a day. And the Reddit commenters had so many hilarious things to say that they basically designed the character with whatever they came up with. And they came up with Bad News Carrot.
Awesome.
There's a corn costume over here too. I haven't named it yet, but yeah.
Sorry guys, my battery is empty, so maybe I will leave
Wait.
because my
1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. You have to wait for this one.
Yeah, my brick wall back.
You have to wait. You're going to be happy. I found it.
no, I'm not happy to leave,
Here's
but my
the
battery is
signature.
going now. Show me 50% remaining.
So this
In
is Corey's
in my yes.
finished tree for Pakistan. So here's our tree, and I couldn't find. Oh yes, awesome!
Yes, Andrew. Now I made your poster in this picture. Yes, I uploaded on a website.
Nice.
Yes, Andrew. Now I remind. I made.
Look at Andrew. Can you see him? You look awesome, Andrew. Tell us more. Tell us more about Mr. Andrew Becker.
Hi, kids. I'm a giant hot dog.
And what do you do?
I feed people hot dogs.
You feed people hot dogs. Hot dogs aren't very good for you. Why would you feed somebody hot dogs?
Hot dogs are made to be friendly, not eaten.
That's great. Ask him questions, Abdul.
Oh, it's behind me.
Amazing. So that's what you do with your hot dog.
I plead the fifth.
Now I get it. Abdul left us. Here we
Wow.
are. I'm wondering if my son Adam wants to come on. I appreciate all this time with you. I'm glad that we got to show a couple of things about Pakistan because it's been really fun. Really crazy. I don't know how I kept saying, why am I going to Pakistan? And my whole family was so against it. You know, everybody was against me going, no, it's too dangerous. No, this, no, this. I'd like to show the Torch Seeds logo, but I couldn't even find it. So I need organization on my computer so I don't have to do what I just did. That's one of my issues, right? So it's that I'm busy, as we all are. But when you're in school, what are you thinking now with COVID? What's your inspiration to stand for the kids right now? Like, what's your passion to do for the kids, Andrew, as a teacher?
I think it's interesting is we're still looking at what is this going to look like.
I know.
And we've only got 4 weeks left because we're done mid-May. And so it will be interesting. I mean, the seniors, I'm assuming they're just done. and it'll be interesting to see who shows up. And now, or what exactly that looks like for us. We have a training tomorrow to learn how to use certain programs, and I don't know. There's certain things we can't do. Like we can't do this with the kids where I'm at. Just there's equity issues, there's security issues, and I'm not. That stuff happens above my pay grade. So it'll be interesting to see how we're able to give food back to the kids. But there's an opportunity because the testing is done. So I can, we actually have a couple of weeks where we can be free from, testing and all those things, and say, let's create what works for us and meet them, where they are. I can actually go back and cover things that I normally couldn't do.
Sure.
Dig into my bag of tricks. Say, hey, I've got this thing. I never could have done it in the normal classroom, but I could do it here.
Like what?
Well, like a lot of time, people, kids will have missed a previous skill. They'll miss a skill and they need to recover it. Well, now I have the opportunity to give them, hey, I got all these resources. We've got time, and I don't expect to see everybody. I expect a lot of people just won't show up. We'll make everything available, but that may be an opportunity to have one-on-one time with someone who comes from a background where they just don't normally get one-on-one time.
Sure. And as far as one-on-one time, how much time do you spend with the kids now that you're under quarantine?
We haven't gone back.
Oh, you haven't gone back?
Hmm.
Oh, your school's out completely.
Mhm.
I missed that conversation.
Mhm.
Wow.
So we've provided leadership, education opportunities, but we're in a place where we also have to make sure they've got food, and in order to get for the seniors, they had to have what they need to, finish up for the. I don't know what's happening with the elementary and the middle schools, but we're making sure that we provide the normal support the schools provide. And this week we're making sure we didn't give out laptops to who we have and internet, because not everybody's got internet.
Where are you located?
Nashville, downtown
Oh, that's
Nashville.
awesome. We have really good friends in Tennessee at the farm.
And Tennessee is we're a very rural state. I work in an urban area where you have the kind of the different schools right on top of each other. You have some of the low end schools and some of the high end schools right next to each other in the same kind of a really big municipality.
Sure. Wow.
And so there are massive equity issues that we have to be able to serve our community.
Well, the Pakistan trip, we had 100 in the orphanage school when I was working online, and I was teaching English. And then we had 25,000 that first year. The 2019, we had that many kids involved, and this year we had about 55,000 kids now in the Sindh area, and every single school is pretty low income. You saw one high-end school there in that video. They've got a couple in the outlying areas that are wealthier because the farmers are kind of taking care of the schools. But in the city, they're filled with trash. It's really hard. And so I didn't know, the first time I was there, I was in shock. And this year we went, and 700 kids, there's no janitor. So you can imagine what the bathrooms are like, right? And so as I started trying to, dream as big as I can, putting Torch Seeds into program there is so exciting, because when you're looking at kids, the teachers were so excited. Because I'd go into a math room and I'd start talking to them about the 4 pillars. And I'd start saying to them, what do these mean to you? What does environment mean to you? And they didn't even really know. They weren't like some of the rural schools here in America, because they don't have access. A lot of them don't have internet at all.
Mm-hmm.
Many of them don't have computers. So it's another whole layer of going back. It's like back here, maybe like the 50s. I don't know. Something like that. But it feels like you go back in time, And so I started implementing Torch Seeds, and it's taken off so well. And it's because kids can plant seeds, you know, and they can start looking. And I said, what would you do? I said to the kids that were in the chemistry, they were 10th graders that gave it Torch Seeds. I think, yeah, they were 10th graders. They said, how do we get the soil? And I said, what do you think your class is about? I said, your class is about chemistry, and make the chemistry about good quality soil and how the soil and the chemistry could intermingle together. And they were so excited. Like I said, you need to make your education alive. You know, you can learn everything about these plants that you grow, but you can also learn from other people. So the Peace Project of it is connecting kids to like your school to kids in Pakistan. And can't you imagine like the dynamic of a app doing that? I mean, I'm so excited about it. Like this is my passion. Like it's so, you know, Torch Seeds has so much potential because you can teach cooking classes to make, you know, education around good health. And so I'm trying to collaborate with people, but it's really hard to pull people together. And one of the big things that I'm sure your team gets, and with, you know, 2020 or bust, there's a big team, but only a handful take charge, right? So we have paid employees now with Torch for the first time. And Adam and I have employed 3 people. Abdul's one of them. And, you know, when you look at the disparities of what we're paying, what he was making, he's really happy because he can start thinking about his dreams and he can make a better living, right? So his dream is getting bigger. It's not easy for Adam and I because we're stretched living in the Bay Area because it's expensive here, as you know.
I don't know that. I live in Nashville.
Yeah, my rent is like $2,500, right?
Yeah, I did look at it. It's actually cheaper for me to live here and fly out there than it is to live there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, I get that.
Yeah. So it's like I have to work a lot to be able to create what I have to create, right? Just to survive. So Abdul and Gufran and Jawad really get that now, but it took probably about 6 months of working with them and integrating why, you know, because they think we have so much more, but you just saw Abdul in their home life is so precious. I mean, going into a Pakistan home is just another layer of sustainability because their sustainability is in the family unit. They have a family structure that is solid and they care for each other. And not to say that there's probably other areas of domestic violence, all the things that can come up, but a lot of the structure holds a deeper value system than we have in America, you know? And I think some of the cultures in America have value, moral issues. I think that's one of my areas of, you know, just discovering. My bachelor's is in cultural studies and my master's is in multiculturalism. And so I've been working way beyond, you know, prior to this with a lot of people. Adam was grown with people from all over the world. In our house, I took in a lot of people from all different nations, countries. So I think that's why Adam's open to this whole, and my kids are open to this global view. But it's funny because my youngest was not raised in that, and she doesn't want anything to do with it. So she's been raised in a regular public school, and I'm looking at that and I'm like so sad about it, you know. So I got her engaged in this program, and I got her engaged in going down to mission trips down to San Diego, and she really started taking off because kids need culture. Kids need to learn about other cultures to know that they're not the only one poor, you know. She's living with a single mom in the Bay Area. So compared to other kids in the Bay Area, she's dealing with, like, you know, the disparities of like, oh my gosh, how do I keep up with the Joneses feeling? And I think this is one of the measures of sustainability. And, you know, we look at Earth Day as thinking that we can do this, but we have to look at this economic delusion. There's a delusion in the air. There's a delusion of this disparity because now COVID has kind of measured it equal. And I'm happy about that we've equalized the economic corridor almost.
It speaks a lot to what Lachlan said about, you know, these are all stories that we create. We created this idea of we have this, they have that, I want this, you know.
Definitely.
And then those are all created in communication and can be disassembled in communication.
Right. Right. Agreed.
And and as that happens, that's when we are able to, create these new possibilities.
Mm-hmm. For sure. For sure. Well, we're not getting as much traction right here. I'd love to have some people come on, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. Do you want to take a 10-minute break and then we'll see who's going to come on at 10? Are you ready to hop off, or you want
Sure.
to stay on? Want to look at more pictures? What's your goal? What do you want to do?
I'm just here. Whatever.
Yeah, you want to look at a couple more pictures?
I could use a stretch.
Oh, good. Okay, so let's go take a stretch. We'll come back at 10, everybody. And maybe Andrew will come back and with us, I hope.
See what we got.
I think you were going to maybe do something with Jeremy.
I'm down with whatever.
Okay, Adam, are you with us? Hello?
Is anybody there?
Anybody there? I'm it. Tag, you're it. All right, I'm afraid to shut this down until I get on the other one because I think Adam's holding space, but I'll get on the other computer. You can hop off and thank
Okay.
you. And come
Eddie?
back whenever you want. So what do we got going on here, folks? I'm wondering if we're streaming because earlier we were not. Can anybody give a shout out? We're going on to Earth Day here. What hour? I think it's almost 10 o'clock. We have 5 more hours of Earth Day. Who's going to jump in and take action? Who's going to take action and get online with me? And I'm going to put this in the window and let you guys come on now, because I got to start opening this up. And as soon as we get back, you can come in and join us. We're waiting to see if Jeremy is actually going to do some work with us here. So I'm going to put it in our comments. Let's see, where am I going to put it? If anybody would like to come on, you can use this link. I'm willing to have a conversation. If it's about Earth Day and it's about your action. So you can come on, but you have to take an action. All right, I have an Adrak on. This is the first cloth that was actually printed in the world. The story goes, you can find it on YouTube. It's called the Adrak. And maybe Saif G is around. So let's put this paste in here. So I'm giving the link. I'm getting brave. We were having a lot of speakers, but a couple of speakers didn't show up. I'm coming back in a couple minutes. I'm seeing the numbers rise up. Let's hope the numbers are real. I hope you come on with me and have a conversation. We're getting down to 5 hours. So it's pretty exciting. It's been running amazing. We've had huge speakers, huge people, huge, it's just been a really great opportunity to serve all of the people that have come on. My breakaway from tonight is that we're in such a crossroads of how to experience Earth Day. So I'm going to hop off for a minute, take a 5-minute, 10-minute break. I'm looking pretty like my energy's going down, and I'm wondering when people are going to stop in. Let's go. Come on down. Have a blessed moment. We're going to be back in just a minute. I'm going to put a banner up, and I'll show you what you need to do while I'm out of the house here for a minute. We have 2 things that we'd like you to do. We'd like you to do a simple action. We'd like you to take a simple action, and I can go back into Torch Seeds in a little while. Actionsofimpact.com. You can see all the different things that we're up to. For the evening, we've got some amazing people still coming on. And where's my 2020 or bust? We had so many great speakers today. Dun, dun, dun. I'm shutting out some of this. There we go. Mama, mama. And we want you to go on. I don't see our banner. While we're taking our short break, I'm going to refresh. I'm going to take a shower, get some caffeine. We're doing the marathon of the Olympics, and we want you to take the Olympic challenge of doing an action plan and get on here with us. I just posted it in our chat. Look in our chat. You can jump on, and when I get back, I can bring you into the fold here. So we want you to take action by going to 2020 or bust and downloading the app. Okay, so this is going to be going. We really hope that you'll take action right now during our little mini commercial break. It's your commercial to go 2020 or bust. Download the app, take action now, and then find me in the link and come back in and very shortly. We're going to see if Jeremy wants to come in. He was going to share. We've got a lot of beautiful people coming. So stay tuned. Shani, do you have your camera? Shuni? You might want to go back out and put your camera on.
I think she's muted right now.
Hi, Adam.
Hey, hey.
Hey, bud. So I invited a bunch of people. We might get a plethora of people. This woman is from the Mayan tradition that's coming.
What I'm going to propose that we do is we restart the broadcast
Why?
so we have a fresh stream on your page.
Okay.
Um,
Which one? Mine or yours? Both, all of us?
yeah, let me just get these pages going here.
What'd you say? Because I will have to get, I just sent the link out to everybody.
Yep. No, it's the same link.
Oh, it would be the same link. Here she is.
The collaboration.
Yes.
What are we running right now? What's next on the show?
Let me just talk to her for a little bit and then we'll do that. Hi.
Hi, thank you for the
There you-
invitation. I was already in bed, but
Hi.
Mother Earth, there's a call.
There we
So
are.
thank you. Thank
Amen.
you for the invitation.
Amen.
This is just what I needed.
Oh, good. Thank you,
I
Shuni.
can't hear you.
Do you go by Shuni?
Let's see.
Do you go by Shuni?
I'm having problems hearing. Let's see if it's my volume. Yeah, maybe.
Fix the volume.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Mm-mm. I don't hear you.
You can't hear me? Hello? Hello? Hello, hello?
My mic is muted or yours?
Not mine. Can you hear me, Adam?
Let's see.
Adam, can you hear me?
Mm.
Adam, I can't hear you.
It's because my mute
I
was on.
cannot hear you, but you can hear me. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Your stream is a little bit it's not super stable, so I think maybe there's a
I
connection.
can hear you.
Yeah.
Mm,
Shuni, can you try logging in? Do
me?
you have another device you can try to log on with?
So it's not me, it's you.
I can hear my son.